Today is a major day in the honor of this nation, Nigeria. Why is it very important? Just yesterday, nobody expected it. Today is declared public holiday because the immediate past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is being buried today. He died in a clinic in UK 2 days ago and is being flown to the country today for burial according to the Muslim rite. I'm speaking particularly about General Muhammadu Buhari. This is Synergy Pathway Television, where issues of security that pertain this country are discussed. But today we are not going to dwell more on security, but we are going to talk about the life and time of General Muhammadu Buhari. On set today, we have a crown prince who will allow to introduce himself proper for the benefit of the viewer. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to meet with you today, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Well, viewers, you will say this is an unusual interview because our hosts have decided to appear to us on the screen the way you are seeing him. Perhaps at the end of this interview, you will know why. I thank you very much once again, sir.
Thank you.
May God continue to bless you.
Thank you.
Our viewers, it's not really mask. It's somebody that is known everywhere. If you visit my page and listen to this interview to the end, you will see his real face. So, can we meet you, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm happy that you have the discretion to address me by my title, which is Crown Prince. Nobody expected any announcement about the passing of PMB, because he chose to be called PMB. He used to be called GMB, a man that contested for presidency 3 times and couldn't win and cried on television. But by the time he finally won by the grace of God, he said, I wish to be known as PMB. He used to be GMB, General Muhammadu Buhari. So he now became PMB. So for this interview, I'll be calling him PMB. So it was a shock to the whole nation. So because of that shock, and I'm still here to recover from the shock myself, that's why I've chosen to appear in a mask. So I'll not look at any faces, not even my own face as I'm talking. So just call me Crown Prince. I'm Crown Prince of a kingdom in the southeast of Nigeria, one of the kingdoms in the southeast. At the end of the interview, you may wish to tell your viewers the name of the kingdom, the location of the kingdom, the local government, and even the ancestral home where the kingdom is. But I'm the Crown Prince of an oil and gas kingdom in the east. So that's why just call me Crown Prince for now, and let's proceed with the interview.
Okay, sir. Like you said, you say you would like to address him as PMB.
Yes.
We all know who is PMB is. The full meaning of PMB is President Muhammadu Buhari. Please, sir, there are diverse opinions in the street, both in the government arena, the political arena. We know you know PMB very well. What is your opinion about the man PMB that is being buried today, sir?
In one sentence, PMB is a man whose ancestral lineage traces all the way back to the Middle East, to Iraq. I say again, PMB is a man whose genetics, if you test his blood, it will take you all the way to the Middle East, to Iraq. Not only him and all his kindred in that Daura, even if not the whole Daura, that's one. That means, so you are not just dealing with a black African. You are dealing with someone that has blood from where? Iraq. Go and investigate this on Google, it's on the internet. AIT did a documentary on it, on the history of Daura. So since you now know his background and his genetics, whichever way you see the Arabs or people from Iraq area, Iraq, Iran, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, anywhere you see people from that area, I want you to reserve in your heart some understanding for PMB as somebody that came from that bloodline, because you can never be more than your genetics. I say again, you cannot be more than your genetics. You can only transform and advance, but your genetics will control you, whether you like it or not. So my opinion of him is, this is somebody that God gave as a gift to this country. This is someone that God programmed to be the greatest president ever ruled Nigeria. Honest, incorruptible, the only president without visible properties anywhere. He was a military governor, not of Borno, not of Yobe, not of Adamawa, but the whole Northeast. This current Northeast is being ravaged by terrorism and insurgency today. He was the governor of the whole of that Northeast. He was a military secretary in the Nigerian army. Go and ask generals what it takes for you to be appointed military secretary of the Nigerian army. It's a great privilege for you to be allowed. He must be very clean. He was petroleum minister. He was head of state. And yet, can you point to any private jet, any mansion in this Abuja? Can you point to any stupendous wealth, any Rolls Royce? I think I've shown you his character. He was a man of Spartan character. He lived his life like a Spartan. Go and check the history of the Spartans. And that lifestyle, I think, is traceable to his origins, to his genetics. But whereas others from that same genetics failed to adhere to the ancient anthropological and sociological content of that gene, he chose to follow it. I don't know whether it is his mother that trained him like that, but I know he is, or rather he was, sorry, the 23rd child of his father. I say again, he was the 23rd child of his father, and he followed that path of ancient uprightness, and that's what made him who he was. That's why we are, the whole world today is for or against him, but his greatness cannot be diminished. That's my opinion of him.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. You have said eloquently, and most of the things you have said are not arguable, even on the street. Everybody knows him as Mr. Integrity.
Negaskia.
So many things were said about him in 1983, how he ruled. Please, sir, what can you say about this man you have eloquently spoke about when he was military head of state of this great country?
God help me to be more brief this time around, because my first answer was more lengthy than I planned. That's how I'm so passionate about the man. That's why. In 1983-84, the era you are referring to, in 1983, I was a 13-year-old boy in Onitsha. In 1984, I was a 14-year-old boy in the Boys Brigade, Nigeria, newly promoted to the rank of sergeant in the Boys Brigade, 3rd Onitsha Company for the whole Onitsha, and then appointed the band commandant of the best brass band in the whole of Onitsha at the age of 14. So, being privileged to attend an ancient school in Onitsha, one of the most prestigious secondary schools in the whole Southeast, is called DMGS. We call it Does Monkey Go to School? I won't tell you the name of the school. Go and Google DMGS on the internet. Just Google DMGS Onitsha. But it is popularly called Does Monkey Go to School? It taught us a lot about government from age 13. By age 14, I had mastered 17 types of government in DMGS Onitsha. It's a missionary school set up by English missionaries of the Anglican Church. So at age 14, the whole of our class, we had mastered 17 types of government. That's why I can remember Muhammadu Buhari's war against discipline as head of state. That's why I can remember the nature of his regime, the character of his regime, that of his second in command, General Diabo. Otherwise, why will a 14-year-old boy speak authoritatively about government when he was just a teenager? But because they were teaching us government, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, but they made sure that they emphasized on government. So that's why I have a vivid image of his impact in Nigeria, 1983, when I was 13, Form 3. That's JS3. 1984, when I was in SS1. Nigeria changed overnight. As young as we were praying that Nigeria should continue on that trajectory because of the way we were taught. Listen to me. All of us teenagers were praying that Nigeria should continue at that pace, at that rate, with that tempo, that we had a bright future. We were 100% certain that even Nigeria could continue with that war against indisciplined tempo. People stopped dropping banana on the road. Nigerians are never queued up for anything that will be fighting. They started queuing up everywhere. We were shocked because since we were born, we had never seen such orderliness in Nigeria. We didn't know Nigerians could do that. People were behaving themselves because of Koboko and because of Bulala. You can Google Koboko and Bulala. We don't have time. So if he could change Nigeria's socio-political tempo under a very short time, what if other governments, not minding his reported excesses, because there must be excesses during change. Human beings resist change naturally, right?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you about 1983, 1984. Though they were reported excesses, yes, there must be excesses before you can effect change. You cannot effect change normally. You cannot effect change with the normal tempo. There must be a higher voltage of doing things that will bring change, particularly under a military government. So if I can remember his impact in Nigeria then, that's my answer to you. Are you hearing?
I'm hearing.
Not only him, his number two, Jatunde Diabo, which people are no longer mentioning about. He was one carrying out the action, the physical action. It was Tunde Diabo, uncompromising soldier that said, a good soldier smiles but once a year. I think I'll stop there. I don't know if I've answered your question as to my opinion of General Muhammadu Buhari's regime as of 1983, 1984. Later, positions were being jailed 100 years. One position was jailed 300 years. They give that sentence per account, 25 years per account, 450 years. It was comical. Because they know nobody will be in jail for 300 years. But that was the level of
discipline.
Yeah, the weight of anger, holy anger, to change the country. Unfortunately, we didn't continue at that trajectory, and we found ourselves where we are today. I'll stop there.
The economic aspect of the country was not well managed. I'm talking about 1983 now. We are not talking about what happened in the last regime. But in 1983, there are some opinion in the social media that despite all this high-handedness to make the Nigerian great, but he didn't do well economically of the country. Nigerian naira was going down as regard to what he met it. What will you say about his economic contribution to the nation in 1983?
Once again, I pray that God will help me to be brief again in this answer. Because when I want to talk about President Muhammad PMB, I see myself flowing so fast. So let me try and put it in 3 sentences. I see whether it's going to work out. The first sentence, his economic performance in 83-84 is not very much different, was not different, it's not different from his performance even as elected president. I don't need to say it again. His performance economically, as far back as 83, when he was a young man, military head of state. By the time he came back to rule as a civilian, democratically elected president in his old age, he repeated the same economic performance. Have I answered your question? Now let me quote Baba of Africa. I will not say who is Baba of Africa, so you go and find him. I won't mention his name. I don't ask him. But let me tell you who is Baba of Africa. There's only one Baba in Africa since Nelson Mandela died. So if you don't know him, that's your business. Now, Baba of Africa said concerning PMB's economic performances. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Whether as military head of state or as democratic president, he said, and I quote, "I don't think he has a very good understanding of the economy." It's on the internet. I do not think he has a very good understanding of the economy. I think I've answered your question. Because Nigeria hit recession twice in history, and those 2 times he was the one in charge. Well, yes, see what Baba said. Baba didn't blame him for it. Baba didn't castigate him for it. Baba didn't say he was wicked and stupid. Baba said that maybe he has never had a good understanding about anything economy. I stop there.
I want to talk about the last administration now, that in the country like Nigeria, in Africa, they said that it is not good to speak ill of the dead. And some people like Showore frown at this, that if you do bad, they should talk about your bad. If you do good, somebody like Yaradua died, and everybody were like, "Oh, what a good man!" I mean, almost the whole country. Somebody like General Abacha died. Some people celebrate his death, that it is a good thing that he died, while some people felt bad. Now, with General Muhammadu Buhari, with all the tributes we have seen online, social media, and in the mainstream media, you see so many people playing glowing tribute to him. But the social media is quite different. At the number one was that the way he handled the issue of the Fulani herdsmen. Everybody was aggrieved that the president politicized the whole issue, why thousands and thousands of people, even his own kinsmen, were dying. There are so many points here that many people talked about. But let us start with the issue of Fulani herdsmen. What is your opinion on that? Do you think he did well? He handled the situation very well. I particularly was somebody that was happy that a retired general was coming on board. Perhaps we will see a difference. The way we will handle it compared to Jonathan, who was not a military man, I felt there will be. But honestly, I'm one of those that feel disappointed that the insecurity in the country to this very day has been poorly managed. What is your opinion on that, sir?
Thank you. Once again, I pray that God will help me to be very brief and answer this question in 3 sentences or 4. On the issue of Fulani herdsmen, let me put it very succinctly. Killer herdsmen. When you call it Fulani herdsmen, it seems so certain, 100% certain, that all the mass killings, brutal killings that have been going on for 8 years of Buhari government and that has continued up to today were by Fulani people.
I correct myself on that, sir.
No, it's not you.
That was.
It's Nigerians, not you.
Oh.
I'm not referring to you. I say when you put it by. When I say when you put it that way, I mean when Nigerians put it that way. I don't mean to you as you sitting down here.
Yeah.
It's use of English. When a Nigerian, let me put it that way. You that are listening to us, when you a Nigerian, that's what I meant, not you the interviewer.
Yeah.
When you a Nigerian puts it that way, Fulani herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen, you are creating a logo. You are creating an image. You are creating an impression. You are even campaigning for the Fulani herdsmen. You are advertising their invincibility. You are promoting their power. You are saying that they are more powerful than the armed forces of Nigeria, the police, the DSS, the National Intelligence Agency, the Civil Defense. You are saying that one ethnic group called Fulani managed to produce just a small section of them called herdsmen. Fulani people are not up to 25% of Nigeria population. I say again, the whole Fulani people in Nigeria, including the foreign herdsmen that immigrated because a former IG of police, Idris Botu, told us that those who are doing the killings in Nigeria were foreign Fulani that came from the Sahel. It's on the internet. I've told you who said it. Idris Botu, IG of police, Google it. Said it was foreign herdsmen from Sahel countries and other places that were doing the killings. It's on the internet. So when you say Fulani herdsmen, you are saying that the national budget of the country, all the money given to the police per annum in billions, to military intelligence in billions, to DSS in billions, to Defense Intelligence Agency in billions, civil defense, local government chairmen, state assembly members. You are saying that all the state governors that collect security votes in billions, that Fulani herdsmen are more than all of them. That's what you're saying. That it was PMB's fault. That it was because of PMB. That means if one Fulani sits in Aso Rock called Baba Buhari, the mere fact that a Fulani occupied the seat in Aso Rock had automatically granted immunity to a small fraction of the Fulani population called herdsmen. When Baba sat in Aso Rock, the Yorubas enjoy such immunity to be above the law, to commit murder and not be arrested? Why the police not do their job?
There is this word of order from above. Order from above.
Why did the local government chairmen not rise up to protect their local government with the small allocation in their hands? Why did the state governors not use their security votes in billions to mobilize youth in every local government to defend communities? Why did all the state assembly people, the senators, why did they not carry their billions in constituency projects and halt every other constituency project and declare emergency insecurity in their senatorial zones and bring out money?
But we saw that in Sunday Igboho, for instance, who stood and said, no, we have to protect our community. We know what happened to him.
Thank you very much. Now that you have mentioned Sunday Igboho, you have indirectly agreed with me in my analysis that one Fulani person in Aso Rock cannot be the reason why 230 million people fail to defend themselves. You have just agreed with me that one Fulani man in Aso Rock, an aged man at that, with health issues, that was being flown out to the UK, and he will spend 103 days in UK not knowing where he was. I say again, not knowing where he was. 103 days out of the country. That man, battling with his health and age, that man that served Nigeria from teenage all his life, before he fought civil war, he had never rested all his life. That man that contested for president of Nigeria 3 times and couldn't win, and cried on television, wiping tears out of passion for Nigeria, that it is the man's fault that Fulani entered. I'm crown prince of a kingdom. I'll mention after the interview, you can flash the kingdom on the screen in Anambra, and by the grace of God, I'm the king in waiting of that kingdom. The throne is back and waiting for me. Samael and Gas kingdom. He is saying that being who I am now, that herdsmen will enter down my kingdom and start killing people, and I'll keep quiet. Wait. I'll wait for police. Wait, I'll wait for soldier. I'll wait for... Even if there's order from above, you cannot enter my kingdom and try nonsense. They will teach you a lesson. You cannot enter the kingdom where I'm crown prince now. Is 8 communities, 8 thrones. I'm crown prince of only one of the communities, just one. You can flash it later after the interview. You go and Google the kingdom. 8 communities. If you near that place now, till today, whether you are Fulani herdsmen, or you are Igbo herdsmen, or you are Kanuri herdsmen, or Bachama herdsmen, or Gwari, if you enter that place now and try nonsense, you will see fire. They don't need police. Because self-preservation is the first law of nature. And self-defense is moral and upright and legal in every law on earth. So it is cowardice and stupidity to be blaming an old man, an aged man, battling with his health, and quoting one order from where? Now, Igboho stood up. Who asked Igboho to stand up? We don't know. Is Sunday Igboho from the Nigerian Armed Forces? No. Is he a former police officer? No. Is he former DSS? No. Is Sunday Igboho, did he do any military training? No. A private citizen stood up. Not even OPC. And he made serious impact. But the thing turned into something else. That's what you're trying to say, Abi. What if he stood up? Now, what if other Igbohos are tried to stand up in 7 and 4 local government areas? What happened? What if every other person copied Igboho as he stood up? We watch him on TV moving in convoy, entering the bushes, mobilizing people, fighting, risking his life, ready to die. Why didn't the remaining young people or old people of his age in 774 local, why didn't they stand up? I think I'll have your answer. So no matter how Igboho ended, is Igboho not alive now? No matter how it turned out, is Igboho in detention now? It's not. Why? Because he did the right thing. It is called resistance. The word of God says, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. I'm not only a crown prince, I'm a pastor. The word of God says, when you see evil, the kind of evil we saw by those foreign Fulani herdsmen, according to Idris Botu, when you see a level of evil about to consume you and your family, the word of God says you should get up and resist. And many people, are they resisting? And they are wiping them up to today.
I challenge anyone that comes and say herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen to near our kingdom. Just enter, just try that place. It try to convince you. Don't they have people like us? Don't they have crown princes under the third thief? Is it? So why is it that you cannot try it in my kingdom? Okay, let me give you an example of the general area. I ever heard about Agloru Muleri? Yeah. Let me say it slowly. Nigeria, I ever heard about Agloru Muleri war?
Yes.
Is older than Nigeria. There are only two places go on the internet that has the highest level of warfare, endless warfare of since ancient time that enter modern time. It's Agloru Muleri in the southeast and Ife Modakeke. Every other one is junior. Because the Agloru Muleri own has lasted over 150 years, older than Nigeria, and it's still going on once in a while. Up to now, killing still occur once in a while. But it's actually Agloru Muleri and Nam. I'll just give you an expo now. This I gave the other, is it? You have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to resist evil. If you submit to evil and it overcomes you, it's your fault. Igboho has proven it. And Igboho is working free today as a hero. I stop there. Let whoever is saying Fulani herdsmen copy Sunday Igboho and learn how to resist evil. God bless you.
Well, this is quite enlightening. But what I would say to this, your analysis is that don't you think it is people like Sunday Igboho are not many? People like Nnamdi Kanu are not many, very few. But you, as a private individual, a civilian, there's a little to what you can do. You have your family, you have your father, mother to protect. Don't you think it's the reason why you see that people are not rising even when they are not happy with what is happening?
Thank you very much. Once again, I pray to God once more that I can answer in 5 sentences. Because I've tried, for it didn't work. So let me pray that. Sentence number 1. Watch and see how Nnamdi Kanu case will end. Watch and see, I say again, I'm not only a crown prince, I'm a prophet and a pastor. Watch and see the end of Nnamdi Kanu's case. Nigerians will be shocked how the case is going to end. The word of God says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. It's not how Nnamdi Kanu stood up, the way Sunday Igboho stood up, the way Nelson Mandela stood up in South Africa, the way Fidel Castro also stood up in Cuba. In Cuba. Check the history of man. When evil and oppression and dictatorship, when evil is shedding the blood of innocent in any land on earth, God is the owner of the earth and the creator of human life. God will always touch a heart. It's not because Sunday Igboho is so strong, and now the Kanu is so mighty, and Nelson Mandela could stay in prison for 27 years, yet he won. He is God Almighty that visits a man in his bed when he's sleeping and touches his heart, and he wakes up with anger. The same cowardice or fear that changed everybody will not change that man. All through the history of man. All through history. If you ask Boko Haram now, Muhammad Yusuf, founder of Boko Haram, something made him to start Boko Haram. If you are saying Sunday Igboho, Abba Gani Adams, Otumba Gani Adams, when Yoruba suffered a great injustice, their son, Chivenkewa Abiola, a philanthropist, an excellent man, won a free and fair election, and it was annulled. Nigerians and the whole world should watch and see how Nnamdi Kanu's case will end. I won't say more than that. When it happens, you remember this interview. Today is Tuesday, 15 July 2025, public holiday. And as we're having this interview, the body of PMB, President Muhammadu Buhari, will arrive Katsina by 12 noon today. That was what the NTA said yesterday, Nigerian Television Authority. And by 2 p.m. today, PMB will be buried in Katsina. So you will not forget this interview, because it's holding as they are lowering PMB to Mother Earth. Second sentence. Conquest is allowed in international law. Pay attention. You have the right to conquer anybody on this earth. If you can invade him, overpower him, capture him, and enslave him. In international law, it is allowed. In international law, one of the ways of obtaining territory is by conquest. So I think I've answered you. A man called Abraham originated from Syria. A private citizen called Abraham originated from Syria and said that he had a voice. He said it's God that told him. I'm a Christian and I'm a pastor. If I say God told him now, how does a Muslim accept that? Okay, a Muslim is even from Abraham. How does a Shinto religion accept that? A man, a private citizen just got up and said a voice told him to leave Syria, leave his ancestral origins in UR, and go to a promised land. And today he's occupying that place. And his descendants are there occupying that land. And the original, whoever, he cannot drive them. And they've occupied it for over 3,500 years. How? By conquest. Joshua conquered 31 kingdoms and dethroned 31 kings. When Usman Dan Fodio did it to the Hausa kingdoms, they were complaining. Why didn't the Hausa kingdoms defend themselves? I stop here. That conquest, listen, if you allow Fulani herdsmen to enter your community, as I did in Benue, and pursue all of you and occupy that, listen, I waiting for police and army and Kotuma, and you want God to come down from heaven, you will lose your community. General T.Y. Danjuma stood up. I don't know a military officer greater than General T.Y. Danjuma in Nigerian army. Former chief of army staff, former minister of defense. That was the officer that, as a captain, walked up to the head of state and says that you're under arrest. As a captain, had the confidence to walk up to the head of state, commander-in-chief, and says that you are under arrest for the role you played in the, we are not sure of your role in the 1966 in Zoguku, because you have refused to try them, you have refused to execute them. They killed off the Northern Premier, Sadana Sokoto, they killed off Yoruba leaders, they killed off a lot of innocent senior military officers, and they are in prison, and you are not trying them. That's what the military law says. You are not court-martialing them, so sir, we are arresting you. A captain did that. A captain. And somebody is saying, what are you saying? He's not alive now. What if they had shot him there? He was ready to die. What was he fighting for? Justice. So why can't people stand up for justice? You're afraid of your life. How about those ones that entered India air the other day? All of them died. How about Solution air crash? He bought flight every day, and the flight lands. And you think you are the owner of your life? I'll end it in one sentence. Jesus said, and I quote, Jesus said, and I quote, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. But he that lays down his life for justice, for righteousness, for order, for good, he laid down his life, he called it for my sake. But he was the epitome of all those things. He said, shall gain it. Shall gain what? Shall gain that life as he beholded. Gani Adams got up and stuck his life for June 12. Today he is the Are Anakakafo of the whole Yoruba land. But he could have died. He stood up.
So many people died. So
people should stop saying government is oppressing us, government is stopping us, the way they're heading and they can is making everybody afraid. You only pass through this world once. You have only one life. You choose to be a slave and they will conquer you, or you choose to stand up and fight for your rights. The choice is yours.
Stop it. There is also I like to use the word unalive instead of using the other one. There is also the unalive of many Shiite Muslims that people are saying, no, we cannot forgive this man for these things he did. What will you say to that, sir?
Okay, this one is only 2 sentences. Only 2 sentences. Sentence number 1. Go and Google difference between Shiite Muslims and Sunni Muslims. Go and Google difference between Shiite Muslims and Sunni Muslims all over the world. If I start with origin of Shiite Islam, origin of Sunni Islam. So Sunnis have been the one ruling Nigeria, not Shiites. So I will stop there. If the Sunnis have been ruling Nigeria, not Shiites. Are you hearing?
Yes, sir.
There's a natural tendency for the Shiites to feel marginalized. After all, we're all Muslims. We all worship the Almighty Allah. But none of us has ever been able to sit on that seat since independence. So there will be that grievance, you know. So they will try to be disturbing. So that's sentence number 2. Sentence number 3. The Shiite boys saw the convoy of a chief of army staff passing in Zaria. Not some soldiers, so not a GOC, not a brigade commander, a battalion commander. The chief of army staff himself with 3 stars, and some young men came out and stopped the chief of army staff's convoy. Can it happen in any country of the world? Mention one country in the world that young men in civil clothes can step in front of the military convoy of the chief of army staff of that country and stop him. And senior military officers came out of the vehicle. It's on video. Go to the internet. Google chief of army staff convoy stopped in Zaria by Shiite. You see the video. Colonels came out with all the full armed soldiers there. The chief of army staff being a professional, another Muslim like them from Borno State, he didn't react for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes. Officers came down and went and met them, and we are pleading with them. It's on video. And they have no respect for authority nor for the armed forces. So whatever happened after that is called collateral damage in international law. National security comes before any religion. I say again, I have a book here called Religion is the Servant of the Land. Zoom it before you leave here. National security comes before any religion. And whatever you believe. If you threaten national security of a country, whatever you see is collateral damage. I stop there.
There is another grievances in the other sector. All these things are what people are saying on the social space. We have the Lekki toll gate massacre that people are still, and all these things were under his watch. People are very, very pained.
Under whose watch? Sorry.
Under
PMB.
The late PMB,
okay,
while he was in power in the second tenure. Just the immediate past administration. These are some of the things that for the lack of time, you also have recession coming up twice or more than twice, when we'll have the preceding government. For instance, they were selling bag of rice 8,500. As at the time he was leaving, a bag of rice was about 45,000. So all these things are what is aggrieving some sector of people, that we should stop saying things like you should not say bad of the dead. If there are things he did that are good, say them. If there are things that are bad, in the beginning of this interview, you spoke so well about him, incorruptible and all that. Now, those are good attributes. But they are also bad attributes, which you too have alluded against. As regards all these things, just to encapsulate everything that he did that is making some people to be aggrieved, do you have any different opinion?
Once again, I pray that God will help me to answer in 3 sentences. The key question you asked now has to do with his image of PMB, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the hunger in the land, isn't it? Because Nigeria entered recession under him.
Yeah.
Earlier in this interview, I said it clearly that Nigeria has only entered recession twice since independence. And each time it happened, coincidentally, wittingly or unwittingly, it happened to the PMB on seats. When he was on seat as military head of state, enforcing discipline, trying to kill corruption, Nigeria entered recession. When he entered, he came as civilian president, trying to, do his own incorruptibility, Nigeria entered recession again. Recession. That's his very bad economy. Bag of rice moved from 8,500 under the last government to 40-something thousand. People started starving. Now, let me ask you a question. Sorry. There is an American journalist called H.L. Mencken. If you are watching us, go and Google Mencken. M-E-N-C-K-E-N. M-E-N-C-K-E-N, Mencken. He said, and I quote, "A people deserve the kind of rulers they get." Mencken said that in world history, from Babylonian Empire to today, if you see a country good, It's not because their president is good. It's because the citizens are not the type you can toy with.
You can.
A people deserve the kind of rulers they get. If you see America, Trump, it's not because his presidents are good. They are human. It's because the people of that land
Will not tolerate.
If you increase bread price in Venezuela, you will see reaction. Look at Kenya. Look at what's happening in Kenya. The last time President Ruto was just, he didn't know where to run to. They are killing them, they are coming out. They are killing them, they are coming out. They are killing them, they are coming out. Do you think any president after Ruto will go there and mess up? President Muhammadu Buhari, PMB, as I quoted the Baba of Africa, I said, I don't think he has a very good understanding of the economy. So let's stop belaboring this issue. The man always comes for anti-corruption, anti-corruption, anti-corruption. But if the people of the land are corrupt, listen, if the majority of the population are corrupt, that man will fail. If he's always coming anti-corruption, up to this is a second, and the corruption continued, it means the people of the land are so corrupt that even an angel cannot affect them. And he unfortunately didn't know that. I say again, he unfortunately may not have known the kind of people he's dealing with. Because from military government to today, can I shock you? Census in Nigeria during the colonial government was rigged. Nigerian census for planning during the colonial government was rigged. That's the worst corruption. They were inflating figures, and it was who rigged it? White people rigged it. A man called Harold Wilson. He said, Harold Wilson, go to the internet and Google, we rigged census. And this is 3 census. Harold. Go and Google, we rigged 1963 census. Harold, use the entire video. You will see the video. The man said that before I die, I want to come and say the truth. And he came out with his wife and sat down, mentioned where he was serving in the colonial office, the place he served, and how they rigged the census. Was it Buhari in power? Now listen, the crude oil of this country cannot be metered. As I'm talking to you now, Nigeria doesn't know how much oil is pumping in a day. From 1960 to now is how many years? 65 years? Go to Saudi Arabia, that has massive oil. Everything is computerized. Saudi Arabia knows how much oil it pumps in a day. Nigeria cannot say, NNPC cannot tell you that this is the amount of oil we are pumped today, or that left Nigeria today. More than 3,000 illegal pipes are taking oil from Nigeria. So why can't they? I'm asking you a question. Why can't they go to an NPC and allow the same technology that's working in Saudi Arabia, working in Qatar, working in Kuwait, but it's not allowed in Nigeria? That technology that works in every oil company in the world is not allowed by NNPC. So how can one man sit in Aso Rock and control such a country? So I think President Muhammadu Buhari was just unfortunate to have underestimated the kind of people in Nigeria, listen, and the level of their determination to maintain the lifestyle they maintain. Do you know how much is Rolls Royce? How much is Rolls Royce?
Hundreds of millions of
dollars. But somebody said, they asked somebody on TV recently, I won't mention his name. He bought a Rolls Royce, NS television. He's serving a government personnel. Whether he bought a Rolls Royce? He said yes. Well, where did you get the money to buy a Rolls Royce? You know what the man answered? He said, which money? Which money? I'm not a poor man. I think I will stop there. So if government officials are buying Rolls Royce, I think the people deserve any kind of ruler that they get. Thank you.
Before I ask you the final question, due to time, for your other engagement, I just want to diverse a little bit, because you said something just now that even if an angel come down to Nigeria as president, that
the people don't want to change.
There is a little to what we will do. Now you all know, you know yourself that politicking is already going on now as regard 2027 election. Politician, you are having coalition and all that. Perhaps one of these politicians maybe win the election, then we have a change of government. Are you saying we are not going to see something better or a change, or are we going to be like this? The country keeps suffering. What? Must angel? We know that angel will not come back to rule us, come down to rule us. It is we. So what do we do?
Let me try to answer in 3 sentences. God help me. The first answer I'll give you, listen. Angels have been coming down to rule countries, and I'll give you about 5 angels I know that came to this earth, ruled countries that were like shithole country, according to President Trump. And God sent angels, and those countries turned it today. Number 1 is China. When I was in secondary school in Dennis Memorial Grammar School, I mentioned the name of the school now, Onitsha. As they were teaching us government, they told us that there were 3 types of democracy. Talking about at the age of 14. That you have first world democracy, second world democracy, and third world democracy. After teaching us 17 types of government, oligarchy, monarchy, totalitarianism, fascism, theocracy, types of democracy. First world democracy, second world democracy, third world democracy. We wrote it in WAEC exam. By the grace of God, I got an A in government, even though I'm a science student. Now, if God could raise Lee Kuan Yew, that's one angel. Singapore was just like a poor country. It was a third world country. When I was writing WAEC, third world countries in WAEC were China, third world country. Singapore, third world country. Nigeria, third world country. I can't forget listing China, Singapore as third world countries. Now, what's happening now? Where's Singapore now? Where's China now? God gave them an angel. His name is Chairman Mao. He was a man like PMB. He was a man of extreme action without caring consequences.
With integrity.
Then he's with hard work, integrity, but he also didn't have a perfect understanding of the economy. Listen, Chairman Mao was a man like PMB, a typical Buhari. He also failed woefully economically because those ones that will come with integrity, incorruptibility, they don't sabi economy. So under Chairman Mao, 12 million Chinese died in a very short time because he made one policy. There are these birds that used to disturb farms in China. This particular species of birds that these birds were wrecking agriculture in China, and no government could solve it. When Chairman Mao said, because he just declared a campaign, mobilized all the youth in every village to start killing those birds. Listen, not knowing that those birds were also required in the ecosystem to eat a particular kind of insects that could rise against the agriculture. They are not supposed to be killed off like that. It's supposed to gradually catch the control. So they didn't know. So when they killed off those birds, all of a sudden, those pests took over. Farmer in heat. 12 million Chinese died. 12 million. Do you hear Chinese people blaming Chairman Mao today? Enter China, you see Mao's picture everywhere. He became the greatest because God, the heart, his intention was genuine. But he didn't have a proper understanding of science and economy. Now, their current president, Xi Jinping, they've extended his tenure. China had to amend I know why I'm telling you this. How countries live third world. How countries live poverty. How countries live rise from suffering.
Corruption.
This is that. You need an angel. You need what?
An angel.
Yeah, and the angel must first of all lay down his life. He must be ready to die. He must have no material intention. He must have no... In fact, you need a type of Buhari, right? But with the face of Baba of Africa. You know what I said now? You need a type of Buhari, but with the sense and the experience and the skill of Baba of Africa. You don't know who is Baba of Africa, go and find out. So if you can join 2 personalities in one, Baba Buhari's incorruptibility. Nobody's accusing him of corruption. Anybody? But he didn't have the other abilities,
the other aspects,
the other
of
aspects of
government.
governance. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
He was a ruler,
Yeah.
not a governor.
Mm.
Even when he did governorship in Northeast, it was military government. You cannot change who you are.
Yeah.
But Baba of Africa has the military side and also the Babariga side.
And have chains of businesses and
No,
all
no,
that.
it doesn't have change of business. So it just has the military side, the man management side. Then it also has the Yoruba Dobale Wayo. Say Dobale Wayo. When you say Yoruba man lying down, I think he's a coward. The Yoruba Dobale symbol, Dobale culture is strength. Is what?
Strength.
It's not weakness. Whereas the Igbo, I stand up to greet my king culture, is dangerous. Igbos have a saying, they call it Okwoto Ekeneze. Ikwoto is to stand up. Kene is greet. Eze is king. Okwoto Ekeneze. He that stands up his full height to greet his king. Is that a good thing? And they brag about it everywhere. Here Igbos have no kings. Igbos have no kings. No wonder they are number 6 citizens today. Igbos have no kings. Igbos were Republicans. Igbos don't have kings. That's why from being the 3 major tribes, from being number 1, producing first president of Nigeria, today they are number 6. Oh, this stand up and greet your king and be bragging about it. So I think I've answered your question that if China could move from third world democracy, today they are in first world democracy. China is the richest country in the world.
Yeah.
And Singapore could move. Now Ghana, look at Ghana currency. I was in Ghana years ago. Cedis was nothing. But today, go and look at Cedis. Now, he said, bring that Ghana must go back. Now, bring that Nigeria must go back. That's what they're saying there now. Ghana will soon print it back, called Nigeria must go. Because Ghanaians don't have respect for us anymore. Their economy is better. God gave them an angel. Go and find out his name. I won't mention his name. I hear it. You will not hear it from my mouth. So check all the countries of the world that we are down and suffering. Then after some 10, 15 years, things turned. The country became prosperous, secure. Then check the man that God used. That's the angel of the Lord. But China had the sense to extend the tenure of President Xi Jinping, the current president. They didn't say, no, tribalism, you must come down. Rwanda had the sense to continue to extend the tenure of President Paul Kagame till today. Cameroon had the sense to allow Paul Biya to remain there up to his 100 years instead of Cameroon to scatter.
Oh, God.
Libya did not have the sense to return Gaddafi on seat. They allowed the white people to come and connive with them and kill their Messiah and kill their angel. Now Libya has scattered. So who is the angel for Nigeria? That's my last point. Who is the angel that will deliver this country, that will fix security, stability, and return prosperity, and make Nigeria the paradise it's supposed to be, because we have everything. Who is that angel? I don't know. Do you know? Thank you.
I don't know. Well, this is not the dimension. We will come back and talk about more on the election that is coming and the names of all the candidates that are warming up. Probably you, in your wisdom, you might be able to identify a ninja amongst them. You will tell us. But today, we are all about the late President PMB and his life and time. Finally, sir, PMB will be remembered for so many things by so many different people, good or bad or whatever. Nigerians would like to know, what will you remember PMB for?
Okay, in 2 sentences, God help me to make it 2 sentences. I remember PMB till eternity as an ordinary secondary school boy whose wife certificate is even controversial. Whom they had to bring wife certificate to him as president. In fact, they brought it 2 times, 2 different times. Yet he was senior prefect in his secondary school. That means he must have been very disciplined. To have emerged senior prefect. Then he joined the military as a very young boy. If you go to Nigeria Army Resource Center, I would like you to go there. You can go there. It's open to the public because it's like a museum. Nigeria Army Resource Center, entrance to Mambila Barracks. Ask them that you're a media person. You want to take the photograph of PMB's graduation from military training college. The day he was graduating, personal parade. The photograph is there. When you see that photograph, that's my image of PMB. The day he was passing out of military training, carrying gun and marching alongside his colleagues. The photograph is there. Look at that photograph and look at that boy. Whatever happened later is what Nigeria did to him and how he reacted to what Nigeria did to him. What did I say? A nation deserves the kind of rulers they get. Israel was in slavery in Egypt for 430 years. Nobody could save Israel. Nobody could stand up from slavery. For 430 till Moses came. I pray we will not be 430 years in Nigeria before we see our Messiah.
I pray so.
No, because 400, were they sleeping? If we don't take time in this country, I pray our own that by 2027, Nigerians will get up and say, oh God, where is our angel? Oh God. Nigerians can pray more than any country in the world. Go and Google it. But number 2 in prayer after Afghanistan and after. Let us pray, God help us. Give us, as you gave other nations, give us that angel. And if you see President Tinubu re-elected in 2027, that means he is the angel. Why? You re-elected him. Whoever you see in Asorok, you put him there. Can you say that? Whoever you see in Asorok in this country is elected by the people. Don't go and blame INEC. Which INEC? You mean INEC can overpower 230 million people? Is that what they are saying?
But that is the view of so many people on the street.
Yes, because
my vote doesn't count and all sorts of things.
Yeah, that is the most ignorant statement of an ignoramus. Any citizen, they have a right to resist. There's what is called civil disobedience. It's part of democracy. So if they cannot exercise their right of civil disobedience and other types of resistances that we have seen all over the world, then they deserve the kind of rulers they get. Google it. A people deserve the type of rulers they get. H.L. Mencken, American journalist. God bless you.
I think we are going to round up on that statement, which I feel is very powerful.
Yes.
A people deserve
what the type kind of rulers they get. Yes, they have no excuse. Whoever is ruling them, they deserve it. If they don't want that type of rulership, they should say something and react. They should react and it change. But if as a people, all of them, they keep getting Nigerians complained about Tafawa Balewa. He was siding Chief Akintola against Awolowo. There was crisis in Yoruba land. People died. The army came. After that, Nigerians complained about Ironsi that was trying to unify the country, unitary system. Wanted to give the Igbos advantage. Well, that's what we are practicing now. This states coming to collect allocation from Abuja is unitary system. That's what Ironsi was trying to do. He was killed. Nigerians complained about Gowon. That Gowon didn't know how to manage money. Gowon said that the money is not Nigeria's problem, but what to do with it. They overthrew him. The first thing that really bothers me, this thing has bothered me since I was age 17, I think, because I enlisted into the armed forces of Nigeria at the age of 17, 12 September 1987. I left University of Nigeria, UNN, College of Medicine, where my mother had gotten me a very good accommodation. I was going to be a medical doctor. All of a sudden, I left and moved straight to NDA because I had passed both NDA and UNN. Why I'm telling you this is that if I had become a medical doctor, I would have hated myself today. Because in 1987, nobody had any idea that Nigeria would be what it is today. I don't know when you were born. But 1987, I don't know how old you were. Nigeria was still beautiful in 1987. Nigeria was still a paradise. Check the exchange rate in 1987. President Babangida came in 1985. August. So by by August 1987, when we were going for an interview, Nigerian University Academy interview, my name came out Anambra list. Nigeria, my brother, there was no Boko Haram. There was no ISWAP. There was no IPOB. There was no bandit. I mean, of course, you had all this, there was some banditry in the bushes, but not this kind of organized banditry that a state governor will be having meeting with a bandit. You've not seen the video? A state governor, a bandit that was declared wanted by the federal government, A bandit declared wanted by the armed forces. A bandit that if I go to the Ministry of Defense, I'll see his picture. All their pictures are on the front. Wanted persons. Then after some years, that same bandit, still a wanted person, I'll see him with the governor of the state in executive party meeting. Instead of them to do it secretly, they did it on camera. They could have done it secretly, we will not know. But then I'll see military uniform around the discussion. How do I understand that?
Mm.
He asked me the progressive governments. And I'm telling you that during the colonial government, there was corruption, capital one. To rig the census of a country without accurate figure of it. So how can you plan? How can you plan for the socio-economic and socio-political advancement of a nation without accurate figures? So you rig the census already. And then the corruption continued. And then Nigerians have been complaining about every president. If you go to Igbo land now, they don't respect Nnamdi Azikiwe in Igbo land. During the NSAS riot, angry Igbo boys gathered at DMGS roundabout. That is my secondary school in Onitsha, DMGS, Dennis Memorial Grammar School. Here you have a mighty statue of Dr. Zik. They pulled it down out of anger. That is one that put the Igbos in, under their what I call it, marginalization in Nigeria now. That is one that, because he was doing federal. He said that Awolowo was doing regional, protecting the interests of the Yorubas. Sadona was thinking about the future of the North. But Ezekiel did not think anything about the Igbos. They destroyed the statue. It's on video. Mm. Then they complain about Hiroshi, Hiroshi, and killed him. Why? Unification decree. They were trying to unify the country. Now the country is operating unitary system. Regions are not free. You cannot go and mine the resources in your region and contribute to center. They will say no, is on exclusive list. So that thing Hiroshi wanted to implement, for which they killed him. So we are practicing now. Then Jagawan came. Ruled for 9 good years, one of the longest heads of states, really. And Nigeria had so much money that the head of states was quoted as saying that money is not Nigeria's problem, but what to do with it. Jayamuta had them got angry and overthrew him. They overthrew him and threw him away. Then Jayamuta came and started ferocious action. He sacked so many people in the civil service, and he was succeeding. He was very. Some people got up from the army and said, no, they don't want that. And they killed him. Go to the National Museum. You see the Mercedes-Benz that was killed inside. It is there out tonight. Go and count how many holes. They finished one magazine on him alone. I'll talk about his ADC and his ugly. They killed him. Then Baba Passenger is number 2. He says now he doesn't want to. You know they do. He was number 2. He said it's Tiwa Danjuma that pushed Baba inside that seat. They said no. Baba says no, he wants to retire. He said he cannot retire. He can't leave us like this. So the Armed Forces Ruling Council voted, and it took a lot before the Tiwa Danjuma could make Baba to agree to stay. Baba stayed, ruled 3 years, and did election, and became one of the few African heads of states to voluntarily hand over power.
Yeah.
Go and Google it. That time it was unheard of. President Shagari took over. Democracy. By 1983, we said President Shagari no sabi, and the corruption was too much. Adisa Akinloye was looting. Umar Odiko was looting. Baba Buhari put him inside crate in London. Umar Odiko and Adisa Akinloye. Akinloye Yoruba. Umar Odiko, Asa Fulani. 2 of them were looting. Until, I don't know why Baba Buhari didn't find Adisa Akinloye. Maybe that one don't do the value or disappear. Then he put Odiko in a crate. They call it diplomatic baggage. When Baba Buhari, they say Baba Buhari no sabi, they pursued him. He's even lucky that they didn't kill him. And he became a smiling president with a gap tooth, very charismatic. He now changed the name to president instead of head of state. Because people that say that head of state, they worry head. And Abibi was smart enough to stop that term head of state. Because people say, and they call you head of state, your head with a jack. So he said, no, he will be head of state. He's military president. He stayed 8 years. That's like 2 terms. He did so well. General Abibi did so well that Queen Elizabeth gave him 42 gun salute instead of 21 when he visited UK. Go and check. 42 gun salute for an African president. In UK, the Queen of England. But IMF told IB to do structural adjustment program. SAP. Instead of implementing it, everywhere is scatter. SAP started sapping everybody. In fact, then the worst, June 12 was annulled. Everything came to an end. Baba said he's stepping aside. Thank God he had the wisdom to step aside. I didn't wait for anybody to come and kill him there. Because if he didn't step aside, I'm sure they would have killed him too. A country that kills their presidents cannot be an easy country. A nation that kills some of their leaders cannot claim to be cowards. I want you to quote me. A country that kills their presidents cannot be an easy country. The citizens are not easy. And a nation that claims to be cowards, that's why they are allowing corruption. It cannot be true. If they have the courage to kill off their presidents, how come they are cowards? And if they are not cowards, how come they cannot stop corruption? I think I will stop here. If they have the courage to be killing their leaders, I hear it. How come they are saying that they are afraid to stop corruption and evil in their country? And if they are not cowards, why are they not stopping the corruption in the country? The mass killings, innocent blood, the country right now is only Nigerian armed forces are dying, police dying every day. So the citizens of Nigeria, the followership is very terrible. Nigerians believe in tribe, ethnicity, tribe. If you go to the internet now and see what they are saying, it's tribe, Christian, Muslim. They are not talking about Nigeria. So I don't even think that Nigerians love Nigeria, because if they love Nigeria, they should look for whoever and whatever.
Irrespective of
God
tribe,
bless you.
religion.
But as long as it is not my tribe or my religion, let the country scatter. They are ready to suffer under their tribe. So I think I'll stop there. I think we'll round it up here.
Okay, we have to round up, but my own advice is that it is time for not just for the Nigerian populace to get up, to rise up to the occasion, but I so much believe that the youth of this country, we are so much, we have so much resourceful youth, energetic youth that can do many things. For instance, what somebody like this young man, very dark man, is doing, for me, I think VDM, and you can see it's gradually starting to have something I will call a movement.
Yeah, almost.
Now we have so many youths who could emulate and do more of what he's doing. Just like you said earlier in the interview, are you telling me that in 744 local governments, you don't have Buhari, you don't have this? I mean, if
you don't have Gani Adams,
we don't have Gani Adams and all of them.
Tompolo.
Now VDM is doing his own, while some people are fighting him. For me, I think he should be emulated. If we can have 770 something VDM in Nigeria, like you said, Nigeria is just a matter of time. It will become a promised land. I want to thank you so much, sir, for this great opportunity. And I believe they say the word is enough for the wise. With everything that you have said today, I so much believe that if the government listen, this is the time for us to stand up for our country. For me, I would say my condolences to the PMB, irrespective his family, and by extension, Nigeria as a whole. May God forgive him his shortcomings and grant him eternal rest.
Amen.